All right, so yesterday you guys skimmed / read through Elihu's answer, and what we're going to do now is going to read the Rambam's explanation of Elihu's answer and like the answer in Sefer Iyov. Okay, now here's a bunch of disclaimers. Okay, disclaimer number one: there's a lot of the Rambam that we're not reading. Okay, some of it because I just want to. My goal is to get the main idea across. Second, because I don't understand everything the Rambam is saying. Second disclaimer is that I'm still working through my understanding of Iyov. So at no point should you treat what we're doing as like the final say on the matter. And I think that's actually good by design because hopefully you'll learn Iyov later on in your life also. And like knowing that you learned an incomplete version, I think will allow more freedom in thinking about like finding your own answers to Iyov, you know? So like it works out, my ignorance works out for you. Okay. And then the other thing is, that I don't remember. Oh, I know why. The other thing is got a really bad sleep last night. I think because of the cold. I think I kept waking up in the middle of the night because it was so cold out. So my mind's a little groggy this morning, and I'm saying this as an excuse in case I like can't answer your questions with the usual clarity. Like my shiur this morning was not very good in the sense of like being able to like focus and think clearly. So we'll do the best we can. That's all we can do. We should do nap time. Yeah, that'd be good. When we start okay, so let us go and read. Okay, so and I think I'm gonna read just to keep myself awake. Afterwards, a new theory was presented, namely the view ascribed to Elihu. For this reason, he is placed above the others and described as younger in years, but greater in wisdom. So we noted that yesterday, right? He's a young whippersnapper. He rebukes Iyov for foolishly exalting himself, expressing surprise at such great troubles befalling a good man and dwelling on the praises of his own deeds. He also tells the three friends that their minds have been weakened by great age. Okay, so insults all around. All right, but well-deserved insults, right? Iyov, how dare you assume that you're righteous and like that God's at fault? And then you other three friends, how dare you like assume that you know stuff just because you're old and you know and you're ignoring all of Iyov's questions. Okay. A profound and wonderful discourse then follows. And just to make sure we understand, discourse means.
Right?
No.
At some point.
I don't think it was.
Like
it's possible. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it is a synonym for treatise. That's true. Yeah, that's true. And that works here also. Discourse could also be a discussion, but it could be a treatise as well. Reflecting on his words, what? It means a discussion or a treatise. A treatise is like an essay or something, you know, like a speech. All right, reflecting on his words, we may at first thought be surprised to find that he does not add anything to the words of Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, and that he only repeats their ideas in other terms and more explicitly. Did any of you notice that yesterday, that it sounded like he was saying a lot of the stuff that other people said? I think Bello, I think I overheard you in the hallway saying that it's very repetitive. I wasn't sure if you meant he's repeating himself or he's repeating a lot of stuff that we've heard before. For he likewise criticizes and rebukes Iyov, ascribes justice to Hashem, relates his wonders in nature, and holds that Hashem, is not affected by the righteousness of the righteous, nor by the wickedness of the wicked. All this has already been said by his colleagues. Okay, so it sounds like he's just repeating what everyone else says. Okay, now here's the cool part. However, upon contemplation of his words, you will clearly see the new idea introduced by Elihu, which is the goal of his speech, an idea which has not been uttered by those who spoke before him. In addition to this, he mentions also other things, that's a typo, that were said by the previous speakers in the same manner as each of the rest of them. That is, Iyov and his three friends repeated what the others have said. The purpose of this repetition, here's the cool part. The purpose of this repetition is to conceal the opinion that is unique to each speaker and to make all appear in the eyes of the ordinary reader to be expressing one and the same view, although in reality, this is not the case. So what is the Rambam saying about the style of Elihu's answer or like answer in Iyov?
Make you delve deeper.
Yes.
But at the same time, like you could not be doing that goal because it's for the simple eye or whatever. You just might think that like, okay, that's the answer.
Okay, right. So what's gonna happen is two things. Okay, the ordinary reader is gonna read Elihu, and what is the ordinary reader gonna walk away with?
So everyone is right.
Yeah, right. Is they're going to walk away with just the same ideas as before, right? That God is just and like he only punishes for a reason and blah blah blah. Same as the other people, and the like scrutinizing reader, the reader who looks in depth, will how are they going to get the real idea? How was this real idea encoded?
The fact that it's
Yeah, and therefore, what is this intelligent reader going to look for? The differences. Okay, so it's like a you know how like I only know ninjas who do this, but I'm sure other people do this also. Smoke bomb, like to throw up a smoke screen, like so they could like be evasive. Magic people also, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, magicians. Yeah, magic people. Yeah. So so the Rambam is learning that the author of Sefer Iyov used like a smoke screen when it came to the real answer to basically conceal Elihu's true opinion. And why do you think he did this?
Only people who are ready for it.
Bingo. So only people who are ready for it will be able to see it. Okay. So everyone else is going to walk in and like, let's say you're an Eliphaz guy. Okay. Like, let's say like you are drawn to Eliphaz's answer that everything is a punishment, right? So what are you going to notice when you read Elihu's answer? Everything is, yeah, you see it's a punishment and you're going to walk out with that preconceived notion. And if you're a Bildad guy that God is making you suffer to reward you, you're going to like latch onto those things. And if you're a Tzofar guy who holds that, oh, we can't know anything about God, you're going to get that. And the fact that you walk away and what bias do we call this? Confirmation bias, right? In other words, you're only going to notice the stuff that is in line with your opinion, and you're not going to notice the stuff that is not in line with your opinion. So that if you do that, that shows that you're not really ready for the answer. But if you are looking through and you're reading between the lines and looking for the new ideas, and you realize that that's the essence of Elihu's answer, and then you derive the answer from that, then you'll walk away with the truth. Sure. I'm just going to put the summary up while you ask the question.
How can we like?
That was Eov's question on it. Yeah, that was Eov's problem with it. Is he said like if I go up to you and without your consent just cut off your arm and then give you like $1 million, then like yeah, it's nice I give you $1 million, but like who says that you actually wanted that? Or how can Hashem harm you in a way like harming you without cause is not in line with justice. So even if you get a benefit afterwards, that was Eov's problem with it. Yeah. So you're correct in criticizing Bildad for that point. Yeah. Okay, so that's what. Oh, and then sorry, I didn't mention this. So I mentioned this earlier. So Elihu's answer contains repetitions of Eliphaz, Bildad, and so far in order to conceal his true opinion, and then Hashem is going to give his answer afterwards in a prophetic revelation to back up Elihu. And Leah, if you're looking for Hashem's answer, oh no, you're not. Okay, yeah, I have a separate sheet with Hashem's answer on it. Okay, which we'll start to read today. Okay, so then he mentions Elihu. Includes a new idea, but we see from the Rambam that it's really going to be 3 new points, and they're very subtle. Okay, so we're going to go through his summary of those now. Okay, the new idea, which is peculiar to Elihu and has not been mentioned by the others, is that which he expresses metaphorically when he speaks of the intercession of an angel. Okay, what does it mean to intercede? Yeah, to come in between, right? To come in between, usually, yeah,
Intercession, you mean like vacation, like intercession?
I mean, all these words come from the same thing. Inter means in. So intercession is to usually step in between in order to help or in order to like speak on behalf. Good question. Let's see the etymology here. Intercede.
Oh, you wrote on the bottom.
I did?
Intercession.
Oh, how good of me. How good of me. Intercede. I still want to see what the shortish is though, now that Emily mentioned.
Intercede.
Yeah, what does that say? It means to intervene. Yeah. Okay, fine. That didn't really help so much. Intercept. Yeah, what does sept mean though? Intercept.
Sept is like, oh, interception.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's the
Oh, you get the ball and you run the other way.
you know, but we're looking for the etymology though. To caught between.
Exactly, you catch the ball and
there you go.
And you run.
Very good strategy.
Yeah, it's all we talked about all pays off.
Okay. Oh, anyway, for he says, so one new idea is the intercession of an angel. Okay. For he says that what? Sure. Oh, peculiar is being used in a weird way here. How is he using? Usually when we say that. Oh yeah. Usually when we say something is peculiar, what do we mean? Strange. But here, what is he? What, from context? Say again?
Unique.
Unique. Yeah, here means unique. Yeah. So for he says that it is an attested and well-known thing that when a man is ill to the point of death, and when he is despaired of, meaning like when they give up hope, if an angel intercedes for him, regardless of what angel, his intercession is accepted and he is raised from his fall. This how would you be tempted to read that next word? Invalid, right? But that's not it. Invalid. Yeah. What is an invalid? A sick person. Good. You know that from medical stuff, I assume, from like, yeah, right. So this invalid, this sick person is accordingly.
Yeah, I didn't cheat this time. It's down there.
Oh, it is? Oh, that's funny. Wow.
I did not cheat this time.
See, I guess I've taught this enough that I guess I knew like what words people didn't know, and I tried to put them on there.
You probably also give it for homework.
Oh, you're right. I did get this from. You're right. Yeah, these used to all be homework. You're right. You're right.
Use your
That's true.
Thank you. See, after I say drink pinochle.
Whoa! Don't blame me on your pinochle cheating. Yeah.
Pinochle?
No. That's why she can't blame me.
I know that plays that game.
No, I look at you. There's something else.
Okay. Anyway, this invalid is accordingly saved and restored to the best of states. However, this does not continue always, there being no continuous intercession going on forever, for it only takes place 2 or 3 times. Okay, that he said a lot there. Okay, what does it sound like he's saying? What's the deal with this angel thing?
If a person is sick and an angel intervenes, then the person will be saved. But it could only like be 2 or 3 times before he uses up his angel.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like, right? Bizarre, weird, good. Okay, that's what we have to understand.
So is this like when he's saying like on Bildad's part, you have to be sick with the angel can intervene?
Oh, so this is the other question, which is not only does this sound weird, but what does it have to do with anything that we're talking about here with the Iyov state? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's read on. So now he quotes the actual text from Elihu's answer that says this, okay? So Elihu says, and I think the Rambam only quotes part of this, but I wanted to quote the full thing. If there will be for someone but a single interceding angel out of 1,000 to declare a man's uprightness on his behalf, then God will be gracious to him and say, redeem him from going down to the grave. I have found him atonement. His flesh has revived from its trembling, and he will return to the days of his youthfulness. He entreats God. Do you know what entreat means? I don't think I defined that, did I? Yeah, asks. Yeah, he asks God, and he accepts him. God accepts him. He appears before him in prayer, and he recompenses man for his righteousness, meaning like he pays him back. He then goes around to people and says, I have sinned. I have made crooked that which was straight, but to no avail. For God absolved him from passing into the grave, so that his being might see the light. And having described the various states of the illness and his joy in returning to the perfection of his health, he says, behold, God does all these things for a man, with a man 2 or 3 times to bring back his soul from the grave to bask in the light of the living. This idea occurs only in the words of Elihu. So summary here, there's 3 new ideas in Elihu's answer. The first one is the intercession of an angel. When a person is close to death, if a malach intercedes on his behalf, any malach whatsoever, he will be saved and restored. But this will only happen 2 or 3 times in a person's life, since this type of angelic intercession is not constant. Okay, and the questions we have to answer, which we're not going to answer today, are, which we kind of said something right. What malach?
Was there a malach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how does this relate to Iyov's state? Does it mean like there's a malach coming? Don't worry, or does, like what's the, how does this answer Iyov's question?
Would it be talking about a malach?
So that's the weird thing, right? He says any malach whatsoever,
Yeah.
which malach hamav is a malach, but then,
But he kind of kills you.
well, remember malach hamav is not only killing you, because malach hamav is a synonym for also Yetzirah and the Satan, right? Yeah. And it also doesn't sound like that's what it's doing here, because the pasuk says if a malach intercedes and well, it restores you, but then also he says it will declare his righteousness, which doesn't sound like a malach hamav, Yetzirah, Satan type thing, Yeah. Yeah.
But a single interceding angel out of 1,000.
Out of 1,000. That's the other weird phrase, right?
There's only
Is it kind of like answering, like, you would think that a mob was constantly making things happen for you, like all the good stuff happens, but kind of saying the good stuff just happens, and then only like a few instances it's like
Oh, that's good.
directly for you.
Okay, so that's good intuition. Let me just put this into words, into my own words, just to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Sorry, slow processing time today.
Every day. So.
What did Elisheva say?
Elisheva, I'm trying to think how to repeat it. Give me 1 second. That Elisheva was saying, why does the Rambam have to tell you that this is only going to happen 2 or 3 times and it's not constant? Because it's a mistake to think that the angel is constantly doing good. Wait, no, go on and say it again, Alicia.
When good stuff happens, like Iyov was under the assumption that that was like an angel making that good stuff happen. When it wasn't happening, there was like a lack of an angel.
Right.
But instead it's like there's a few random occurrences that an angel, not random, but like there's a few occurrences
Right.
that will be like an angel that makes stuff happen, but it's usually just
Okay, right. Meaning that the vast majority of time, like we read from the Rambam, then you know the universe is good on the whole. There are minute cases of Ra, and that might be what Iyov is suffering from. Right? Yeah. Okay.
only 2 or 3 times in your life it will be something like angelic that made it happen, not just like the natural course of the universe.
Right, but you got to remember also that our explanation of the angels.
Maybe specifically for you.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Good.
only affects you.
Right. Okay. Good. Hold on to that intuition. Yeah.
So I feel like there's another part to this where the man is telling everyone that he was saved.
Yeah. Right. So that's the other question. What does that have to do with anything? Like he gets saved and then he goes and tells everyone that God saved him. Good call. Yeah. Okay. Second thing, Rambam goes on, his description, Elihu's description of the method of prophecy in preceding verses is likewise new. He says, for God speaks once and sees no need for twice. In a dream, a vision of the night, when a deep sleep falls over people during slumbers upon the bed. Okay, very, very cryptic statement. No. People say either he was real and the stuff happened, or the entire thing is an allegory, but no one says that the stuff that he was real and the stuff that happened is a dream. That'd be a plot twist, wouldn't it? Yeah. You've been watching too many of a certain show. Hashem.
No.
So this is the second new point: is Hashem will convey knowledge through nevuah to certain individuals to save them from harm's way. Okay, but again, that's not that needs explanation. What does that have to do with Iyov? Also, Iyov's not getting nevuah.
What does it say to save them from harm's way?
Oh, good question. Maybe I didn't quote. Let me just look up. Where does he say this? This is 33:14 to 15. Let's just look at Elihu's. I don't have the packet because I gave them all out. Let me just look
For
on
God will speak in one way, and then in a second, for someone who cannot perceive it, in a dream, a nocturnal vision, when slumber overtakes people during a light sleep in bed. Then he reveals it to people and seals it by afflicting them to turn a person away from an evil action and
yeah.
to deny him.
That's where I was getting it from. Yeah, to turn people away from evil action. Yeah.
Save them from harm's way, meaning them
from harming themselves. Yeah. Okay. And also, there's another thing: is that what do you kind of notice in common between this angel point and the nevuah point? It's intervention of some sort, and
It's like rare.
yeah, it seems rare, right? It's going to happen
in
some instances, yeah, right. So that's an interesting thing. Okay, then we get to this third point. He afterwards supports and illustrates his theory by a description of many natural phenomena, such as thunder, lightning, rain, and winds. With these are mixed up accounts of various incidents of life. For example, an account of pestilence, that's a plague, contained in the following passage. In one moment they die, in the middle of the night the people fall into turmoil and pass away, and the mighty are removed without physical force. Great wars are described in the following verse. He smashes mighty men without calculation and sets up others in their place. There are many more passages of this kind. So this is the third new point, is descriptions of natural phenomena, and the majority of Elihu's response is descriptions of this nature, okay, or descriptions of nature. Meaning he's describing natural things. Okay, that's the third new point. Okay, and then let me hand out Hashem's answer, which I didn't have you read, but we're going to read parts of it in a second. Hashem's answer. Where are we here? Here we go. Okay. First, I guess we'll read the Rambam's summary of Hashem's answer before we read Hashem's answer. Similarly, you will find that in the prophetic revelation, namely Hashem's answer, that came to Iyov and through which his error in everything that he had imagined became clear to him, there is nothing stated aside from the description of natural phenomena, namely descriptions of the elements or descriptions of the meteorological phenomena. What does meteorological mean? More specifically? Weather, yeah, the weather. Yeah, there's lots of stuff in the sky. The planets, the comets, yeah. Or description of the natures of the various species of animals, but of nothing else. It describes the elements, meteorological phenomena, and peculiarities of various kinds of living beings. The sky, the heavens, I guess he does talk about the sky and heavens. Orion, the Pleiades, those are constellations, are only mentioned in reference to their influence upon our atmosphere, so that Eov's attention is in this prophecy only called to things below the lunar sphere. Elihu likewise derives instruction from the nature of various kinds of animals. Thus he says, who makes us more knowing than the beasts of the land and makes us wiser than all the birds of the sky. He dwells the longest on the nature of the Leviathan. I don't know what you guys learned about
Sea
Leviathan.
monster?
The sea monster, yeah. Which possesses a combination of bodily peculiarities found separate in different animals, in those that walk, those that swim, those that fly. So here's some excerpts from Hashem's answer. Let's quickly switch over to Hashem's answer here. This is very dramatic, okay? So you got to set the stage here, okay? What happens is, actually, could someone, if you have Elihu's answer there, could someone read like the last part of Elihu's answer? Like, I don't know if it's a new paragraph or the last couple of psukim.
Like literally like the last paragraph.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen to this, Iyov. Stop and contemplate the wonders of God. You know when God loads the rock or when the rainfall will emerge from the cloud. You know what it is above the cloud. The cloud expands, the wonders of he who is perfect in knowledge. You know why clothing becomes hot when the land is cleaned by wind from the south? Did you help him stretch out the skies, which are as brilliant as a castor of air? Let us know what to say to him. We cannot prepare a case because of the darkness. Will it tell him anything if I speak? Has a man ever said anything which was concealed from him? Now one cannot even see the sunlight shining brightly in the skies until the wind passes by and clears the low clouds. From north, golden rays emerge to show.
I didn't realize this was so long, but keep going.
I know it's so long. Almighty, we cannot plumb his essence. Is great in power and justice. Is his righteousness. He does not torment. Therefore, our people fear him because he pays no special attention to any of the wise hearted.
Oh, that's it? Huh.
You're like, "Is it?"
Did I omit something? Let me just see if I
Like a whole essay.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad you read that anyway, because you could see, what is he essentially describing in that paragraph? Nature, right? He's basically just giving a lot of examples of natural stuff, right? I thought it ends with, I guess not. Okay, never mind, I was wrong. Okay, back to what we're doing here. All right, so then it says, so maybe I'm getting it from one of the Mefarshim, from the Malbim, but basically what happens is after Hashem, after Elihu answers, so what happened after each of the three friends gave his answer to Iyov? What did Iyov do? He responded. Elihu gave his answer and then Iyov didn't respond, which meant that he didn't have any arguments, but he also didn't fully accept what Elihu was saying. And then that's when this happens. Then Hashem spoke to Iyov out of the storm. This is a nevuah, okay? Iyov gets a nevuah and says, who is this who obscures divine counsel with thoughtless words? Now gird your loins like a man, for I'm going to question you, and you will let me know. Okay, so Hashem finally intervenes and says, okay, you're going to debate me now, okay? Which, spoiler alert, Hashem wins, yeah. Where were you when I founded the earth? Speak up if you have understanding. Who gave it its dimensions, if you should happen to know? Or who drew a line over it? On what were its supports sunk? Or who tossed its cornerstone into place? Where were you when the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted joyously? Who closed in the sea with doors when it burst forth out of the womb? Where were you when I clothed it in a cloud and swallowed it in a mist? And where were you when I made my statutes breakers about it and gave it a bolt and doors? And I said, you may come up to here, but no further. Here you must put down your waves in a heap. In all your days, have you ever commanded the day to break or made known the dawn its place? Have you ever commanded that the earth be grasped by its corners and the wicked shaken from it, that it be overturned like clay for imprinting and others settled upon it like a garment? The light of the wicked is withheld from them and the arm raised high is broken. One a little bit more. Have you been to the depths of the sea or undertaken a search of the abyss? Have death's gates been revealed to you? Have you seen the gateways of death's shadow? Have you contemplated the expanses of the earth? If you know all of it, tell me, which way leads to where the light dwells and where is the place of darkness, that you can take the one to the border of the other and so discern the paths of the house. Of its house. Did you know when you would be born, or the number of your days is many? So what's Hashem's point here, basically, to Iyov? Yeah, you don't know everything. And what kinds of things is he like emphasizing that you don't know?
The entire world.
Yeah,
Except
how
for your little.
exactly, like how the world works and how the world was created and how things function. Okay, so this here. So to summarize here, so point number 3 is descriptions of natural phenomena. The majority of Elihu's response of the new points is of that, and then all of Hashem's response has to do with describing nature. Okay, so that is the those are the 3 points that Elihu makes. Okay, now I mentioned that I'm still working through this answer. Every year I tried to come back to it and just get more understanding. So right now, the only part I fully understand, and I'm going to try working on this some more, The only part I fully understand is the third part. Okay, so temporarily we're going to leave aside the part about the malach and the nevuah. I'm going to take another stab at it again this year, but we're going to try to focus on that. Like, what is Hashem and Elihu telling Iyov through this nature thing? Okay, are you ready for it? Today we're going to start the answer. Okay, so the Rambam says like this. The goal is continuing in the Rambam. The goal of describing all these things is to impress on our minds that we are unable to comprehend how these transient creations. Well, you remember the word transient from Koheles? No. That's transcend, yeah.
Like mystical?
No. Nope. Transient means temporary, things only existing in time. The goal of describing all these things is to impress on our minds that we are unable to comprehend how these transient creations are brought into existence, or to imagine how their natural properties commenced to exist, and that these are not like the things we make. Okay. How can we think that his management, hanhaga, okay, and I'm putting the Hebrew words in here because it's important for us to link the English with the Hebrew here. How can we think that his management, hanhaga, and supervision, hashgacha, over them is at all similar to our management of what we manage and our supervision over what we supervise? Instead, we must stop at this boundary and remain with the conviction that nothing is hidden from him. As Elihu says here, for his eyes are upon man's ways and he sees all of his steps. There is no darkness and no shadow of death where the evildoers can be hidden. Okay, I'm just realizing something here. Hold on. I just want to check. Did I send myself the wrong PowerPoint? No, I didn't. Okay, good. So you want, let's do this, okay? I want to do a first reading of the Rambam today. And, okay. I thought that was a loudspeaker. Yeah. I want to do a first reading of the Rambam today, but then I kind of want to hold off till next week to analyze it. Actually, you know what? Should we just do that anyway? I feel like since we're starting the answer and since I'm not in the best state to explain stuff clearly, let's executive decision. Let's stop here for today. Okay. I know we started reading the Rambam's answer already, but I'd rather start the answer afresh, like his explanation of the answer afresh next time, and then we'll continue from there. So let's take our break and then do English for the rest of the time today. Okay. Let me stop sharing. For Ayala and Eliana, hold on just a second here.